Fetching.
Okay, webinar is now streaming live on Facebook. Yes. We love to see it. Okay, let me accept this.
And they hate to see it, but they love it so much. Oh, good evening. Good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing tonight? You have landed here on the full set. My name is Didi Delgado. I'm a regular person, and I have a very special guest here with us tonight. I would like to introduce you all to a person who actually needs no introduction, but we made sure we put the introduction all up in the description of this event. Anansi Olajuawon, welcome to the full set with Didi Delgado. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, baby. I'm happy to be at the full set where you got it stacked up and everything.
I'm really grateful that you rolled with the punches. You let me call you 2 hours before showtime, and I was like, nigga, we gotta come up with a show. I really just need the people to know how organic this is, okay?
Very much so, yes.
I wanted to address something really quickly, which I had also told you about, but I want to address it with everyone else. We had begun starting this podcast, video, blogcast, whatever you want to call it, series, as Quarantalks, because niggas was going to be quarantined for a while. You got Fonzie talking about we're going to be quarantined for a year. I don't know, vaccine or no vaccine, I don't know. And then I stumbled across the internet because I've gotten in trouble before for thinking my own original thoughts, and then someone else saying, hey, I had that original thought first. You know, so it is what it is. And I was like, let me, you know, before I actually put this on Apple, before I put this on Spotify, let me just check. And sure enough, 2 white people from Wisconsin. Was like, we got 200 likes. And I was like, oh, no, this is not what I wanted. I didn't want this. I didn't want it to be like this. So I have renamed the podcast, delightfully so, to the full set, because it could stand in for any full set that anybody needs, a full set of dishes, full set of teeth, whatever. But for me, everybody who knows me intimately knows I stay with a full set of nails, and this quarantine has proved me wrong. So thank you for appearing on our show. I appreciate it.
Very much, very much. We love the full set theme.
Thank you. When you told me that, I was like, you really like it?
Yeah, like we were saying earlier, we were talking before we got on camera that for Black folks, it's always a full set. You know, you don't know how much we prepared, but you don't know if we messed up on stage. But when James Brown takes the stage, Michael or Janet, Beyonce, it's a full set, and we give you everything that you need.
Got to give it all to the people. Got to give it all to the people. And that is what we're going to do today. We have an awesome show lined up for you. I'm just going to jump right in. Your bio, when I was reading it, said that you was a PhD fellow. I have no idea what that means. I really know it's up here, you in the echelons, and I need for you to come out from the sky and show us your true colors. What is that about?
Listen, my true colors are black, gold, and purple. So we get out here. But no, I think that's real, right? Like a lot of Black folks don't have the opportunity or the desire to be up in some graduate-ass program surrounded by white people that are trying to tell them how to talk about themselves.
Right.
That's some bullshit. But essentially, I'm a PhD candidate, and that means I've passed all the exams. So when you get to so basically, you know, you got your bachelor's degree, your master's degree, which is your graduate program, and then you have your PhD. When you go into the PhD program, the first step is you're a student, right?
Okay.
With whoever, you might have an advisor, you might not at this point. You're trying to figure out what you're studying, what the hell you're going to be talking about.
Right.
Then you figure that out, and you take a series of exams, 3 exams generally, to figure out what your expertise are. So mine are Black queer theory, Black political thought, and constitutional law, right? Basically,
that's a lot.
Yeah. So you take these
That's like exams. A heavy peanut butter jelly sandwich.
Yeah. So once you take these exams, peanut butter jelly, you know, the jam, not just the jelly. You gotta have the jam.
Okay, come on, jam.
So once you pass these exams, then you're a candidate, which means you are past the first part, and now you just have to finish your dissertation, and then you're qualified to be a professor. But I'm also a dissertation fellow here in Nashville. So PhD in Austin.
Oh, you live in Nashville?
Yeah, I'm teaching political science and Black theory out here in Nashville, you know.
Is Nashville the Midwest or is it the South?
It's the South, definitely.
You gonna start a fight on Beyonce internet today.
Look, I'm from the Midwest, and this ain't us. This ain't us, you know?
Okay.
Got a different type of barbecue out there.
Okay. The barbecue is different. All right. I wanted to ask you, because every time I see you on these internet streets, you have the most poignant looks. You are probably one of the most beautiful people. Like, who is it? People Magazine. You have not even registered on their list. You are one of the most beautiful people I know. And I wanted to ask you about some of the photos you take. What it looks like to be comfortable in your body, like, because I stand for it. I don't know about all these other hoes, but I literally look forward to your postings, especially when they're your thoughts, but also when you couple it with, you know, these pics that depict like this vulnerability and the strength that you have.
We talked a little bit about this off camera earlier, but I was telling you before that I have no photos of me from, I think it is like second grade up until my freshman or sophomore year of college. Part of that is a function of the fact that we were so poor that my mom, single mother, dealing with drugs, shit like that, could not afford to do school photos. So all of those memories are gone. So there's nothing for me to look back upon. And so part of this journey has been about, I want to actually be able to look at myself in different stages of life and be like, damn, baby, you were there, you did that. And just kind of mark those changes and those journeys, right? And so one of my favorite books is I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings on My End.
Okay.
The reason I love that book so much is because through it, you see these different parts of her emerging, right? You see her kind of reconciling the parts of her that have been cleaved apart and becoming whole. So I wanted to do that for myself, but also like through middle school and high school, I had like terrible skin, like cystic acne, and my face was basically like Rocky Road type. You couldn't rub your hand across.
Oh no, you had to call your face Rocky Road.
It was a mess. It was a whole mess. I was struggling. I didn't even know how to watch the shit, right? But like what I had was my mind, right? And that's something that you can't really picture, you know? So my dogs are going off right now. I have to put them in the cage.
Your dogs are so beautiful.
Yo, these poodles, they want attention right now. But essentially, I worked on my body and I was really comfortable with my mind and not my face and my body yet. And so these notions of taking pictures was me kind of making myself become one again. You know, it's one thing to think that you're brilliant and you know shit and you study hard and no one can talk to you about the law or Black queer theory, but what does it mean not to be at home in yourself, right? And so I had to make my body a temple again. And to prove that to myself, I had to display that to myself. That's why you see so many photos that are quotes and essays, but also like the chest and the body and the hair all existing as one. We can't have these type of godless circumstances.
We're appreciative of the entire thing. And I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, when you came up with the term Black queer, and it's spelled BLA capital QUEER, what was the thought process behind that?
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm putting my dogs outside.
Take care of that baby. Take care of that baby. Because if it was my baby crying, y'all was gonna have to hold on.
Right, exactly. Hold on 1 second.
For those of you just joining, we are here tonight with Anansi Olajuawon. Just half person, half amazing, just all the things. He is taking care of the dogs right now, but will be rejoining us shortly.
Yeah, I had to let the babies, get a little bit of love, go outside and run around.
Yes, because those babies are changing the world, let me tell you.
Listen, they were like, there's a closed door here. I don't like this. What's happening?
What is this?
We don't do this.
What is this boundary?
Right, boundaries in my house, what?
Right. So the question I had asked you was, you came up with this term, and it's called Black queer, but the spelling is BLA capital QUUER. And I wanted to know, like, what prompted you to come up with the term and what does it mean?
Yeah, so I came up with the term, and I should say that I theorized it because I think that—
Come on, theorize.
Like when you were saying earlier off camera, nothing is new under the sun. So I'm sure that there was some Black queer person before that uttered this and called himself this thing.
Right.
But for me, it was coming off of really a sexual assault and dealing with my serial conversion to being HIV positive and thinking about, I started this blog called Black Queer Pause. And kind of think about like, what does, your status as a surviving sexual trespass to dealing with an HIV status and dealing with yourself as Black and queer, what does this begin to mean? And how do these different parts of myself exist? But what I came to know was that these aren't different parts of self. This is all self-manifesting in different ways. And so when I kind of think about Black queer, I'm really putting myself in conversation with a long line of Black queer folks and Black feminists like Kimberly Crenshaw, who talks about intersectionality. And so instead of my Blackness meeting my queerness at an intersection, at a cross, what I'm saying is it's always been a circle. They've always existed together, co-forming each other. Like my Blackness isn't separate from queerness. My queerness makes my Blackness, and my Blackness makes my queerness into this rich type of gumbo, or potpourri, if you will. So when I'm talking about Black queerness, I'm noting the fact that Blackness has always been queer. And queerness is nothing if it's not Black. So I'm kind of talking about these things birthing a moment, always already together.
When you say Blackness is already queer, can you expand upon that for a second?
Yeah, of course. It's like the conversation we were having earlier. We were talking about gender, and I know we're getting to that later on.
Yes.
If you think about Black folks, so Black women, for example, the gender category of women comes from, kind of like, I don't want to say the beginning of time, but when we're going from hunter-gatherer to kind of denoting different male and female, it's about a division of labor. Women are defined by what they're supposed to do, and men are defined by what they're supposed to do as far as human survival. But with Black folks, after the catastrophe of slavery, this thing gets obscured. Black women are doing both the kind of birthing and the so-called feminine and maternal work, but also the physical labor. And Black men are doing these things too, so the wall of gender gets collapsed in the Black body. So Black people are already queer because gender doesn't fit perfectly upon us. It slips and slides, and we do what we must do. So all Black people in a way are queer. And so when I think about like Black queerness as far as sexuality, we're also obscuring what it means to be gay, right? Because we've always existed outside of a gendered and sexual norm. We're always a cross current in the river.
A cross current in the river. Come on, poet. I know you have it in you.
Trying out here.
So I think we briefly touched upon that. When you say that we're a cross current in the river, I think about the term queer and how it's significantly, vastly different from the term gay. Right. And so people associate the two and even sometimes use them interchangeably. But is gay minus queer? Is queer minus gay? Is it versus queer? Or is it is it an addition to,
I explained this like we were talking about it earlier. I think about queerness as sexuality plus politics, political practice. Gays, no offense to the gays that are watching, but the gays, it's
no offense, y'all.
It's essentially, heterosexuality plus some same sex or, multiple gender attractions, right? There's nothing political about it except the fact that you woke up in the morning and breathed and said that you were gay. But queerness, like in history, even the term of it being strange, is a pushback against the ordinary. It's a revolution every day. So queer folks are doing this politics that says, wait a minute, we're not actually trying to assimilate into anything. What we're trying to do is take things at the grassroots and undo them, starting with ourselves, right? Queers are saying, I don't need to fit into XYZ box. I am because the fuck I am. Now deal with it.
Right.
So there's something like inherently radical about queerness. And it's also a studied politics of liberation that is inclusive, right? Even though it's on the outside of the traditional trajectory. But gays, it's a type of like nationalism. It's a type of like collective identity. We're just like everyone else.
Do you feel like it's just the flag with just the gays?
I mean, I think so. I mean, like, I think it's really interesting that the gays have taken, queer pride, which was a protest, a mark of revolution, a mark of blood that had been spilled for folks to just walk through the street in their heels and pump, right? Into a corporate sponsored sex party. And we love sex parties, that's a queer thing too.
I definitely love them. I enjoy them thoroughly.
Get yours, honey. Get yours, but it probably shouldn't be sponsored by Walmart. It's someone that wouldn't even hire you or give you a minimum wage. So it's really interesting. And so I think that like the flag becomes interesting to your original question because queerness has become this umbrella term. And queerness has always been inclusive, but it's always been exclusive as well, as far as like, what do you believe about humanity, right? Marsha was a queer. Essex Hemphill wasn't queer. James Baldwin struggled with whether he was queer or gay, but I mean, we're also talking about the 50s and 60s, right? So there's a different type of politic there, and a concern about being able to survive and live. So I think that today the gays are, like in DC, which earlier I called them the bow tie gays, and they go to brunch.
Yeah, you did call them the bow tie gays. I was like, explain.
Yeah, they wear their bow ties, they go to brunch, they talk about their resumes, mimosas, they like to trade, tea on their degrees and things. But oftentimes the politics isn't about like, how do we lift up the bottom, right? And how do we identify, as you say, and be in conversation and speak with and not to the bottom of society and make this thing more horizontal. But instead, how do I become the tip of the pyramid? How do I become at the top of capitalism? Rather than how do I spread out these resources? Make sure that everyone is whole, living, if not thriving.
And I feel like that is just such a segue into like something I have, me personally. Mm-hmm. I mean, T, I'm not asking you to be my therapist because my therapist is an elderly, gonna be mad when I say she elderly, but she's an elderly Black lesbian.
Well, shit, she better than me. I can't tell you nothing.
What you said? I think about there was a situation, and obviously I would never use names because it's not for me to talk about the person, but yet to talk about the behavior. There was a situation. I got invited to a very queer brunch in Cambridge, darling, as Elle Hearns would say, Combridge, Massachusetts. Combridge, Massachusetts.
Yes.
And I got invited to this queer brunch. You're talking about very famous authors are in the room. This woman was a lesbian, very, very quick person, beautiful. And I said, she was like, no, like, tell me something. What is this thing I keep hearing about you that you're Black femme queer? And I was like, what do you mean? What is the thing? I was like, well, like, what do you want me to explain? Which thing do you need me to explain? And, she was just like, what does it mean queer? Because, I'm from the old school. And where I'm from, you wouldn't even be considered a 5-star lesbian. You'd be considered a pillow princess and all this other. And I was like, wow, what a projection. And I'll never forget that conversation. At some point, maybe I will circle back to this individual because I just, it really changed my perception of what it means to be involved in queer elitism. And it reminded me of it when you were talking about the bow tie gays, right?
Yeah.
When I say queer elitism, in as much as there is a hierarchy when you are in academia, and, we talked about this, like you move further and further away from the margin because yes, you are Black. And yes, you were dealing with student loans, and yes, you were dealing with the pressures of white societal structures. But the language that you begin to use and like just the way that you have to code switch higher, it's above the pay grade of the Black folks, And I feel like a lot of times we as queer folk begin to have those conversations, and then we further marginalize folks who don't have the language that we have, but have the same experiences and the same intersections that we do. So what say you? Is there such a thing as queer elitism, or have I just made that up?
I would think it's probably like, again, the umbrella elitism, like the LGBT elitism. I don't know if that's queer, because queerness shouldn't be in this kind of elite. It's antithetical to queerness to be elite, right? But to your point, though, like I think there are a lot of people that are queer theorists or queer authors, and that's how they make their name. That's what they say, at least. And they get their PhD or their law degree or whatever the fuck, their award. And now they talk about community and haven't been there in 30 years. And no one in community can read what they're saying. And it's probably some bullshit that is really written.
It definitely is probably some bullshit.
It's probably some bullshit written for the white masses, probably the white gay masses and the white liberals that want to feel close and adjacent to the gay, bohemia bullshit. Yeah, so I think that elitism is real. And like what I try to do, so I wrote this essay a couple of years ago called Thinking Blackly, thinking about Black people's experience with the law. And so my critique was not that we need to have Black people understand the law per se, but like we need to understand the law through a Black lens. Like, what is justice within Blackness, within Black culture? What does that begin to look like? How is it different from the Constitution?
Has Black culture ever had a justice of sorts?
I think Black culture has never had a justice from the white gaze. But I think Black people have always known what justice is and always seen the impossibility of it coming from white folks. Right. So I think there's a way that when something happens in the Black community or in like a discrete community that actually knows each other, you know how to handle shit.
Right.
You know, there was a passage going back to Maya Angelou's I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings. People can disagree with this as one. But when she was molested as a child, she told her grandmother, and some men from the neighborhood came and beat this man to death. And because of that, Maya stopped talking from the age of 5 years old to 12 years old because she thought her voice had killed him. But the
Right.
idea of justice in that small Mississippi town was if you're a grown man raping a 5 or 8-year-old girl, honey, we have to handle
Right.
you in the way that we do justice.
Right.
So I'm not saying go around and murder people, but I think that in these different discrete Black communities, there's always
disclaimer, we're not saying go around and murder people.
But sometimes, I mean, you know, I don't know, dude. Look,
Or do you?
Do your thing. Work in your local community political praxis, you know. Yeah, but I think justice is local, you know.
Okay. So what's the gag?
The gag is the gays.
Tell us.
Listen. The gag is the gays and the Black elites, as you say, are masquerading as queer and radical, when the true queers and the true Black radicals are unthought of, unseen, unheard, and discarded at the first. That's the gag.
That's the gag. Thank you so much for that. I want to talk to you. I want to shift gears for a second, because when we're talking about gagging, something I often choke very heavily on is the voting conversation.
Lord, child.
So, baby, I need to know, did our ancestors die so we could vote? I mean, I just need to know if that is, and you and I never discussed this, but I told you it was a question I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Is it true? How true is it? Can we Snopes.com this, right? And ask if did our ancestors die so that we can vote?
Did.
Yes, baby.
Oh. Hell no. So, like, I just, first of all, our ancestors didn't die. They were murdered.
Right.
Right. And murder, by definition, is something that is done against your consent. So you can't be murdered because you want to, like, and so, like, we could say that people were murdered because white people decided that Black people should not have the right to vote.
Right.
True. It's very true. But no one died so you could vote. People oftentimes sacrificed themselves and were martyred so you would have the opportunity to do, have a more equitable life. But with all Black politics and all Black histories, we've had a multitude of tools, politics, and resources. Every generation, we argue about every fucking thing. There's always a Du Bois and a Booker T. Washington. You know, that's just the way it is. You know, and folks really have to accept that. So I really hate the argument that folks go around saying MLK died, you could vote. You know, MLK was shot to death on a balcony.
And he voting blue, no matter the cost.
Yeah, and I mean, and MLK's father was a Republican for a reason, because at that point,
what? Come on, educate the masses.
At that point, Republicans were more pro-Black than Democrats. So, MLK was like basically a communist anyway. I mean, that's part of the reason CIA was following him, was that he was arguing for what Bernie Sanders today calls democratic socialism. You know, this notion that everyone deserves healthy, good food, regardless of what they make, right? So it's really strange that, like, we have Black people today, particularly Black middle class and upper middle class aspiring political strategists and business people and thinkers that like to throw the blood of MLK and Malcolm X and even the life right now of Assata Shakur into the mix and say, they did all this just so you would go to the ballot box. No, they did all this so that you would dare to thrive, right? And their life was not taken, or their livelihood in Assata's case, was not taken by their own choice and own volition. They wanted to talk their shit, but what nobody trying to die on purpose.
Right.
This wasn't revolution. This wasn't like, you know, group euthanasia or group suicide. Child. People shot and killed and deported, you know, or kicked out the country with America's Most Wanted bounty on their head.
When people say Assata taught me, I struggle with that.
Me too. I'm
going to tell you why I struggle with that. And then you tell me why you struggle with that. I say that I struggle with it because you're talking about, quote unquote, her crimes were committed during a time that everyone was ostracizing her. That she's a cop killer, she's this, she's pro-Black, and we're gonna talk about your afro-pessimism in a second, but we're gonna talk about all the things. You're like, really? I think about how revolutionary she was when no one fucking appreciated her. And now you have this slew of activists and individuals who wear the shirts that say Assata taught me. And then if you were to ask them what was the teaching, they would be like, well, I just feel like I need to see the videotape, or so I'm trying to figure out what the disconnect is, because I read a different Assata autobiography. I don't, does that make sense?
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. I don't know what Assata taught them. I don't think Assata taught them anything.
I'm dead. The conversation is over.
Because look, Assata said, I have nothing to lose. We have nothing to lose but our chains.
Right.
We must love and protect each other always. Not until we see the videotape, not until the police release a police report or statement, not until we look at your background to see if you smoked weed that day, if you were angry, if you touched the officer. Always, already. And we had nothing to lose but our chains. She wasn't talking about, your job, your good name in the community. You kicked out your PhD program or your bachelor's program.
Don't talk about nobody good name in the community now.
Listen, or Karen or Becky or Chad down the street thinking you're an angry Negro. She wouldn't talk about that. That's immaterial. What you have to lose is your chains. So I don't know what they read. I don't know the Assata they're talking about. It definitely wasn't Shakur. Not Tupac's godmama. I don't know what they were talking about. I don't know.
Thank you for sharing that. I wanted to circle back to something you had said when you were talking about communism. I was asked earlier today, and I'm just going to now ask you the question: why do people? What is the assumption about communism in our community, knowing that inherently by nature we are communist by nature, or we are socialist, if not a beautiful blend of both? I think about when white people are like, oh my God, you're not going to recycle that Pepsi can when I'm at the office. And I'm like, bitch, I have a Betty Crocker tub full of spaghetti. You understand what I'm saying? I've been recycling. I got 15 bags underneath my sink. When the ShopRite started making 99-cent bags. Like, what is the upset about the word communism? Is it propaganda that has taught us that communism, which no one understands, is like a dirty word that means control, like as if capitalism doesn't mean control?
I think so. There are two things. I think one, for the general national mood around populism, is that it's often conflated with authoritarianism, right? So like the idea is that like if you have the people owning the means of production and industry, then you need a strong government to enforce the fact that you can have rich people coming in. And the only way the government can do that is the strong military arm or strong police arm. People don't believe that. Then the real question is like, people don't believe that the defense against capitalism is necessary. They're afraid. So two is that every time a Black person was killed by the CIA and FBI via COINTELPRO, the accusation against their name was communism. So I think that communism has a history of trauma that's ingrained through intergenerations with Black people that many of us don't even know, but that it's there because communism was always the excuse for Black extermination. Every leader that was killed.
Go ahead, babe.
No, since every leader that was killed, they were accused of being a communist.
Right.
The crime of communism is
saying so niggas was like, I ain't no damn communist.
Yeah, I'm not that. I'm not a Panther. I don't do Black Liberation Army. I don't do XYZ. I just want equality, not equity.
It reminds me of this episode. I can't remember the show off the top of my head. But the little white boy comedian was asking people questions. He was, I think it was not the Daily Show, but one of those nighttime shows. And he was going out with the microphone and he was like, do you have a gluten allergy? And people are like, yes, I'm gluten-free. And they're like, so what is gluten? And not one of these white people who are talking about like I do parabens and wheat and wheat free, we're rice free, we're like not one of them.
Free.
Gluten is like something your body produces. I have celiac disease. Did your doctor tell you have celiac disease? No, but I get an upset stomach whenever I eat bread. Like, so it reminds me the whole communism. Oh, China is a communist country. That's why they got, like just the whole rhetoric about why are we dealing with coronavirus. I'm like, because of 5G and communism. What the fuck is y'all? Y'all, Asada taught y'all, huh?
Right. They're like, communism doesn't sit right with my stomach. Get you want to run your ass over to Cuba for vacation.
Come on now. Vacation alone.
I'm just saying. Lord.
Oh my goodness. I wanted to ask you something. Earlier today, we were talking about bell hooks, right? And we were talking about politics and the practices of love, right? And I just got like my white girl voice on because love is such a foreign thing to me. Even though I'm in love and I'm loving and I'm lovable, I'm really not sure what love for the self means when you're loving others and you're loving your community, when so much of our time and our love and our labor is expendable, like what it means to like feel in love with the self. And this is going to segue to my other question about friendships, but when we're talking about like this romantic love or this sort of like tethered love to even nationalism, I don't like, what is it about us that we can't put ourselves first in that love?
Yeah, I think that, like I was telling you before, that I came up with this idea when I was in college of critical love ethics. It's a spin on Bell Hooks' love ethics theory, which is a spin on Paulo Freire's love politics. But come on, we spin it, we remix, and we black, So the part of it is that like we live in a capitalist society, right? That we often think only organizes the way that we make money, or what our dreams are for our economics, our household, yada, yada, yada. But really, capitalism is like, it's a politic ideology that organizes how you live,
right?
Love, and who and how you fuck, right? So we put values on everything that we do in our time and the ways that we engage with people. So I think that the reason that we struggle with like the idea of put myself first and also love this person is because it's almost like we're in a capitalistic market where we're trying to see which one of us can market domination over time. Right. Myself or yourself or ourselves. When really these don't have to be things in conflict. Because if we're in alignment.
They don't gotta be things in conflict. When you speak, I'll be like, they don't gotta be things in conflict.
They don't. Because if we are in conflict, maybe you need to get out of my house. Like maybe we just ate compatible or we need to communicate deeper, because the reality is that critical love ethics speaks to this idea that love itself is not just a feeling but a practice and a politic. So it's a commitment, a feeling, and a desire to not only connect with someone romantically, intellectually, sexually, and emotionally, but also to commit to the growth together, the growth of the community, of the collective, of our individual self, and our romantic selves. So if we're looking at our relationships as the embodiment of our actual politics, our politics of social democracy, as you say, our ethics of loving Black folks, no matter what, of non-disposability, in our love practice to not only mirror that, but feed that. And if someone is devouring you and you're in this parasitic situation, then it's not parasitic love, it's just parasitic relationship, right? And you're not in a practice of love because you're not in alignment. So I think oftentimes we have to begin to kind of, as my mother, Janet Jackson says, water our spiritual...
Baby, we don't talk about your mother. Okay, go ahead.
Miss Velvet Rope, Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. But you have to water your spiritual garden, your emotional garden, and also mind the fence. Because if people are coming in, taking things out of your garden, and they're not replacing them, you don't have a person that's gardening with you. What you have is a rodent. Right? And so I think sometimes we forget.
Like that snake that was that snivelled across your foot.
Oh yeah, that snake dead, girl. I done killed that snake. That's the country in me. That snake did dead. No, that snake was trespassing. It had raised up and got an attitude at me. Oh, no. I can't. He wasn't even paying rent.
He wasn't paying the rent. That nigga was in the grass, literally.
Yes. That snake low-key barbecue Becky me. It was like, bitch, what you doing here?
The snake was like this.
Literally. Off with his head. I hate to say it, Peter. We hate to see it, but it had to go.
Oh my goodness. The Tiger King about to snitch on you. I let you know right now.
What,
He's
is
snitching
he
on everybody.
Is he in jail?
I hope so.
Oh, girl, these white people. Those are white people I grew up with.
He a white criminal. He belong in a jail.
Yes, all of them, the whole show would belong in jail, except for the person got their arm taken off.
I'm an abolitionist in the absence of color.
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe in Black people in prison, but I feel like, no, I'm not going to say that. Please stop.
I'm minding my business.
Yes.
I wanted to do a follow-up question I hadn't spoken with you about. Mm-hmm. You were talking about disposability, and that's something I struggle with a lot, and we're going to go into friendships, but when you talked about love and not being in an alignment with that, with the love and not the infatuation of the romanticism or the friendship, right? When you talk about like actually loving us as a people, because we love ourselves as individuals, right? Like we love the collective. What does it mean to love throughout conflict? Is this something that you're versed in? Do you got conflict in your life and you still have to exercise love, or do you fail at that?
Both. I mean, I fail all the time, and that's why I get better. So, there's that. And I mean, like, I talked to you off camera, about a prior relationship that I had that was really terrible and really violent. But even now, that person, who I consider to be like an emotional terrorist, I still have love for them, and I love them as a Black being. I love them as a human being, and I understand that their actions are based upon what they've experienced in their life that are beyond me. And so, though I may have divorced myself from that person, I also don't wish harm or ill upon them. I do love them, and if there's anything that I can do to support their healing, their growth away from me, I'm here for it. But I think what some people forget is that love does not mean no boundaries. Love does not mean sit in my living room and have tea with me. Love sometimes means like, listen, I know that there are things that you need, and for my safety, my emotional mental health, I can't be around you to give them to you, but let me connect, let me call so-and-so to come over to your space, So I look at that situation, I look at even the most controversial thing I think we have right now is like an R. Kelly situation, right? This nigga
Talk about it.
This nigga out here, a whole serial rapist, a whole serial abuser over decades. Longer than I've been alive, he's been out here doing the bullshit, violating, engaging in sexual trespass. Right. But at the same time, we also realize that he is allegedly a victim of similar things, or a survivor. I don't know if he survived it, honestly.
I appreciated that you offered that he was allegedly.
Yeah, I don't know anything except for what people tell me. And so I don't ever believe, even someone that's gone through sexual trespass, I have a politic where I don't believe or disbelieve. I take what you tell me and I work with you based upon what you say to me. I'm not God. But even in his situation, what I don't do is throw him completely away, but also what I'm not going to do is engage with the nigga, right? I pray and I hope and I believe that maybe one day he can come to whatever it is that he needs. But I'm also not going to be like chop the nigga head off. But I understand why some people might want to do that. But that's my Black politic. It's all encompassing.
And that's your personal politic. I think about this with Chris Brown and how I got called out. Not many people know about this call out because it was private until just now. But
Didi, you stay snitching on yourself.
Well, who would I be if I made it seem like I'm all peaches and roses and this Jose Cuervo margarita? Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like,
is that what that is? What is that?
No, it isn't, because at the end of the day, they didn't have no more at the fucking store. I bought the last bottle 4 days ago.
See, sis, I had higher hopes for you.
Listen, I had higher hopes. I thought like I was playing so well at the Amazon.com capitalism game. And then they was like, we'll raise you a pandemic, bitch. Like, like I don't know what to do with my life now. I actually have to go to the store. It was like, will you risk it? I was like, I got a headband and a coffee filter. I'm gonna go get this.
I'm mad that Roxbury just jumped out of you so fucking hard. Like, you really brought me back to Jackson Square. Like, I'm done right now.
Orange line, gang, gang.
Yes. Fuck that red line shit.
Well, nobody go to Ashra unless they have to.
Yo, but Madden can be popping sometimes. Let's be real.
Oh my goodness. My favorite, and when we talk about Boston, because I get homesick and my baby is right there right now. I think about breakfast with my best friend Crystal, and we used to go to BlogHERs, which is like right there in Mattapan Square. And I'm talking about like even back in the days when I was growing up as a young child, like Brigham's ice cream used to be the spot. And after church, I would have taken the dollar I was supposed to give to the little platter, and I would reclaim my reparations, pay for my ice cream. You understand?
Yo, I
That
never
big gay
understood
ice
y'all.
cream, boo.
I never understood like Boston niggas eating ice cream. Cause like, so I went to college at Tufts, and like once I got there, I didn't want
out there
nothing
at
cold.
Medford.
Yeah, I didn't want nothing cold ever again in my life. And literally after I went to Tufts, I stopped drinking ice with my beverages. Like, don't put no ice in my mixed drink. I don't want to be reminded of cold. Cause
you don't want to be reminded of the cold. You know, every
No.
nigga out in Boston, Massachusetts drinks a motherfucking medium iced coffee, extra cream, extra sugar.
It's disgusting. Yeah, it's like 5 pounds of sugar. Maybe at Dunkin' Donuts talking about 5 sugars, and I'm like, that's a small.
Mind your fucking business.
And it's cold, so I know that sugar clotting up in your veins, bro, and even dissolve. Like, what we...
You mind your heart attack.
I just can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Thank
But
you
shout
for
out to
bringing me
Boston.
back to that moment. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
Roxbury like was a key moment in my radicalization. Key moment.
When you say Roxbury radicalized you, could you be talking about the same Roxbury that I grew up in?
Definitely over there, and then right over by Dorchester and shit before the white folks moved in.
Yo, the white people are just, they gentrifying. It's like they're like, it's not our fault that our ancestors owned slaves, but you own half of Dorchester now. Go fuck yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, maybe over at Tufts acting a fool like Tufts wasn't the largest plantation in New England. I'd be like, pause. This is the only plantation where a Black person got reparations. Well, the first one, rather. Chill out. Don't talk to me crazy here. An ancestor might jump out of me. I don't know. Like,
come on, ancestors. I'm trying, speaking of ancestors, I'm trying to, Hoodoo Hussey and said yes that she would come on the show. And I'm so proud of the work that she does. I'm trying to get Daisy October to come, but she be slow on the email response. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen. I'm gonna ask my mama, who done passed in 2010, ask her mama and everybody else to bring them on.
I'm low-key in love with Hoodoo Hussey. Like,
so beautiful. Really... Y'all dreadlocks, it's just like, y'all dreadlocks go together.
I've never seen someone that beautiful in my whole life. Sorry, babe, I know you watching, but like, Hoodoo Hussey, this one, like, that is a woman. Like, that's a whole, like, I don't even know. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe it's fucking with my queerness. I don't know. Like, I don't even look at her profile no more. I can't breathe when I look at her Facebook profile. I just be lost.
She's very beautiful and she's very intelligent. She's so spiritual.
Yeah, she's the whole ancestors. I think that's what it is. I'm looking at like
she's the whole
version of God or something, and it just takes me away. It's like when we watched the Wakanda movie, Black Panther, and Angela Bassett took off her hat and then blocks fell out, and you were just like, oh Lord, it's God. That's how I be feeling. How long have you been
growing your locks? Because your hair is long, baby. I saw you deep conditioning, and I was like, how low do it go?
Baby, it go low. It go, you know, we got here under the titty a little bit, under the left titty. You know, left titty's a little bit higher than the right one, but that's all right.
That's all right. That's all right.
It's been a little bit. So I started, actually, I had like grown my afro out for like 4 or 5 years. And then I've been wanting locks forever. And I went to South Africa again. So the first
you went to South Africa?
That's why I wrote my book in law school. Who am I? Child, law school was so depressing at Howard. They were so anti-Black and anti-queer.
Oh, you went to Howard?
Yeah, child. It was lovely, and then it wasn't. This, you know.
What's the difference between a HBCU versus some place like Harvard University where you were?
Oh, you want to get me dragged? Okay.
No, let's talk about the truth.
You know, the HBCU PWI awards are really interesting. So this is intriguing because I had a couple of fellowships at Harvard and Berkeley. I went to law school at Howard, PhD, UT Austin, and Tufts undergrad. So I like have gone to state school, PWI, you know, HBCU, all this shit. I will say that like I think that like it's very different. So at Howard, it was really interesting because one, it's a law school. So law schools are more conservative in general.
So you went to Howard Law.
Howard Law, yeah. And so it was really interesting to me because like when I went to Tufts, most of the Black people were like from the city or they were from all over the country, just very diverse Black people. But at Howard, they were all from the Deep South and all very religious. And it was interesting because the populace was like 80% Black women. And everyone else was like, there were a couple Middle Eastern, a couple Latinos, and then like, I think maybe it was like 10 or 11% Black men.
Okay.
And that was really intriguing. I remember, so we had our orientation. It was like brother to brother and sister to sister, which already is a shit show. And they were basically trying to teach you how to become a Howard man and a Howard woman. And after the orientation, I walked into the locker room where we keep all the law books, because you can't carry law books around, say like 20 pounds each and shit. You gotta have a locker.
Tomes.
Literally, we have lockers for our books.
I only know that word because somebody taught me one time.
It's a shit show. Like law schools have locker rooms like football people. But basically, like on the wall, there was plastered statues, and it had these pictures of all the men from their high school or college days in the most effeminate attire. And the 3L and 2L, like second year law, third year law, which are like the graduating people, had challenged the first year boys to a football game to prove their worthiness of being a Howard man, their manhood, their masculinity at a football game. And the women were to come and cook, provide beverages. So I came in my little Daisy Duke shorts, child.
Yes, I need a photo.
Oh, what's the girl? It's on my Facebook. That's what I had my faux locks in. It was down in my ass back then. I was trying to try it out, see if I liked it. But I went there and I drank my whiskey and I twerked, and it was very interesting to see the men and hurt themselves. But fast forward to my 3L year, my graduation ball, I came in a Angela Bassett style bright red dress. I had my hair up in a beat face, and kept my little beard on there because we ain't gonna do all that now. I can't go too far, girl.
You were like, you wasn't gonna mess with my aesthetic.
Yeah, and I was just like, listen, this is what Black queerness gives you, and we still sit at the top of the class, honey. So just live, But it's that, right? It's like the HBCU experience is really beautiful because it's so Black, but it's very heart-wrenching because it's so Black that it becomes policing of who gets to be Black.
Right.
Right. It's one thing for white people to say, "Oh, you're an Oreo," or some dumb shit white people try to say, and you just slap the shit out of them.
You're not that Black.
Yeah, but when Black people try to tell you that you don't fit Blackness or you're an embarrassment to Blackness, it hits differently. It cuts differently when your whole community is what's turning inward or trying to consume you. Particularly when you're queer. It's a very different experience. And then Harvard, they just they either think you're not smart enough, or they want to be around you because you're the only smart Black person.
They're like, oh my God, I had a friend like you once.
Yeah, you're like Obama. Bitch. First of all, I'm an African.
Not like Obama. Do you even look like the nigga? I don't know.
Right. Like, what is going on?
Why did you decide not to practice law?
That's just for now. When I was in law school, I did criminal law. I was in the Howard Law Criminal Justice Clinic. I also practiced law, the DC Public Defender Service. I had 11 cases. I haven't lost any. So we practice law, but I
need an attorney.
Listen, I also understood that being in law school does not allow you to think critically about Black life and law. Law school teaches you to memorize and apply. Memorize and apply. You don't get to think critically about the way that the law has always already been anti-Black. And so I went to get my PhD because I need to understand what were these fucking ideological, intellectual underpinnings of the Constitution and law that always render Black people disposable and guilty, right? Before you even step into the courtroom. And in law school, you don't get to think about that. You just get to learn that this is the law, memorize and apply it. What does the law say? And not what does the law say from your knowing ancestral Black experience from the slave ship to the present, which is what I write about, but what did white people that owned slaves say the law meant? And I'm thinking in my head at a Black law school, who the fuck cared what they thought? Like, what is going on?
I don't mean to laugh like this.
I'm just saying, like,
who the fuck cared what they thought?
Right. Like, I did not come to an HBCU to learn what white people think about the law. I'm Black. I know what they think. I can predict it.
You wanted to learn serious applications of how it applied to Black people.
Yeah, and how a Black person
could feel like you didn't receive that?
I felt like I had a lot of, like one of my professors became a mentor of mine, Harold McDougall, was a lawyer for the Black Panther Party. Jamaican brother, just the shit. Like, so I learned a lot from him, and I learned a lot from another professor. I'm not going to say her name because I want to.
We were trying to obscure the innocent.
But I'm just going to say that she was a sexier version of Annalise Keating. Okay. And she would walk across the class. She taught criminal evidence, and she walked across class in this like skin tight shirt. If you see her on Twitter, it's like loves younger men and fresh sheets. And this sister would be like, I need you to lawyer it like a Black lawyer like a Houstonian, a Thurgood Marshall lawyer. Oh, you don't got it? And then walk away from your ass in her beautiful ass form-fitting dress and let you know that she don't see you. So there were classes, my Black professors, because most of my professors in my first year were white men, which was a whole different.
Hated it.
I never had a white professor until I went to Harvard Law. At Tufts, I had all Black women. So that was really weird to go from PWI with all Black women to go to an HBCU with mostly white prosecutors. That was one of my legal writing professor was the first prosecutor, the head prosecutor for Guantanamo Bay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was a lot or a little, depending how you look at it. So that happened. But yeah, I felt like I got a little, and I got some of my independent studies that I took, but I didn't get this sustained conversation with my peers. You get to kind of critique these issues. There may be like 10 of us in the school that were interested in critical race theory and Black power shit, but we didn't have time because we had hundreds of pages of shit to read.
I know, well, I'm not saying that no one else Black has been to Harvard Law School, but I know like 3 Black folks that have gone to Harvard Law School, and they're all from Boston. So,
oh, yes.
I mean, Derica Purnell too. Okay, we'll throw her in there.
Yes,
so yes.
That's good people right there.
She is good people. I bogarted, they were trying to have a Black Lives Matter conversation and a bitch was sitting in the audience and I was like, I just got questions, and then they asked me to come up on the panel and it was a bunch of PhDs. It was like Treva Lindsay, it was Erica, and I was like, just me, bitch didn't finish high school, but hi.
Hey, that's the best knowledge. You ain't corrupted by this bullshit.
Well, we'll see what happens in a year or two, and then I'll let you know.
I can't wait. I'm gonna be there too. Like, what's up? Hey, check it in. You still real?
Just checking in, sis. I wanted to ask you what poets and activists fueled your work. Like, who really stood out to you? I know you talk about Maya Angelou and you talk about bell hooks. Is that like really the basis of like how I feel like you can't really be a historian without paying homage to the arts. And so I just want to know from you, I think activism is an art too. People will fight me for that, but I'll win it. Like, so who fuels your work?
Yes, I want to say I'm not a historian. I don't have that bag. I wish I did, but I don't. It's a lot of work. But I do political theory and I do like social theory, but in constitutional law. But the people that fuel my work are, of course, as you said, Maya Angelou, Essex Hemphill, Baldwin to a degree, but probably more than anyone, Frederick Douglass, quite frankly. Frederick Douglass talking about, and people don't read this correctly into his work, I think, but talking about what it means to be like raped as a Black slave, orally raped as a man, right? And then to run away to freedom, and then dedicate, we were talking about this earlier, Frederick Douglass's last breath, his last step was taken when he was leaving his house in Anacostia, in DC. Walking out the door on the way to give the keynote address to the women's rights movement. Right. He had a heart attack on the way to argue for women's rights. And that shit just like, and when you read his writings, what to the 4th of July is the Negro, right? Frederick Douglass he don't got no time for nobody. Yet he's always talking about and for Black people with love. So Douglass, Assata Shakur, Maya Angelou, bell hooks, Essex Hemphill, Joseph Beam, now currently Nayyirah Waheed.
Yes.
My favorite living poet.
That's my poetry, babe.
Salt. I'm reading this book right now called Bone. I can't actually pronounce the writer's name. It's spelled Y-S-R-A. That's her first name, Yisra or something. Okay. But it's called Bone, and the homie, K.C. Lehman, he wrote the foreword to it. And this fucking shit. I've read 3 poems last night, and I was talking to Bay, and I was fucking shook.
Like, I'm about to find it right now.
Yeah, it's on Amazon, child. Yes, and they actually.
I won't get it until May 15th.
Nope, I ordered mine last week, and I got it in 3 days. Okay. So even if they told me like April 28th, it came in 3 days. So get that. I'm gonna
work hard on it. I'm gonna work hard at Bone. That's what I'm gonna write.
And again, if you buy it on Audible, we can listen to it. It's like $10. But then you get it for free or just for taxes when you buy the book. Because I bought it on Audible.
Come on, talk to us about this knowledge, what you got?
I believe in saving money. I bought on Audible first, and I said pay a copy, and it cost 26 cents. And then I bought myself a copy, and it was free. So get your Prime game on.
I'm gonna get my Prime game on. I'm gonna set my shit up.
Yes.
I want to circle back to when we were talking about love and we were talking about bell hooks and the politics and practice of love. What about friendship? There's a new wave, right, that I have come into where I'm examining my friendships in a different way. I just told my best friend today, I was like, bitch, I was about to break up with you. And she was like, why? What did I do? I said, you didn't do nothing. I just feel like this is the time in our lives, you know, we've gotten to the point where we just know too much about each other, and you do something to aggravate me, and before you try to drag me on the internet and say I'm this and that, we should just go our separate ways. And she's, bitch, I hate you. And so, but I had never done a check-in before, like with friendships, right? But because I'm romancing my friends. I'm asking, babe, did you eat? You know, when I spoke to you earlier, I'm like, did you eat? Because I want to treat my friends the way that I want to be treated. Yes. And I think that in order for me to even realize who the fuck I am still, I need to treat other people like that. And that includes people I'm not fucking, you know what I'm saying? But that I'm just in a relationship with in a meaningful way. What does it look like for you to build friendships with people and have this intimate connection with someone who knows your inside, your story, you know what I'm saying? Who knows your pain, who knows you're happy, who knows your joy. What does it look like for your friendships to be equitable and have romance without sex?
Yeah, that has been
too heavy.
You know, I mean, it's been a journey because, I mean, like for me, a lot of my life is a lot of the big things I've been very public. You know, I wrote a whole fucking memoir and book of poetry and essays my first year of law school, so that's out there. Everything happened to me up to 25 is in that book. And I'm always, you know, giving speeches and writing on my blog and on my personal website about shit that's happening. So my life in many ways is very public. So things that these friends know are like the super, super uncertain, private shit that I'm still figuring out, haven't put into poetic words yet. But we talked about this earlier, and like part of it is like growing up as a child, right, in a home that was turbulent and have a lot of stability. I kind of became the person I wanted my mother to be. Or I wish my father, if he was there, would have been, or I wanted my grandmother to continue to be. And in friendships, as you were kind of talking about earlier, I not only became, you know, the kind of mother for a time, but I styled myself almost as this fucking martyr. Right? It doesn't matter. Okay, you said that it hurt me, but I know you're going through something, so let me just take it and be the bigger person. No more, goddamn, I don't do that no more. But there was a time when I did that. But what I also realized that there was one, that was an attachment issue. I had to go to therapy and work through, and figure that shit out. But two, there was a part of it that really was my true essence. Like, I'm a very open, vulnerable, loving person, and I want everyone around me to thrive. And that has meant for me that my friendship circles have to be even smaller, because I do give a lot, but I also realize that when I give a lot, I must also not only require a lot, right, but be open to.
That's a boundary.
Yeah.
If people think that it's like, you know, totalitarian to be like, oh, you expect too much, your friendship is too expensive. But if I'm giving, not that it needs to be transactional, but you need to meet me where I'm at, and I'm at the giving place. And there are going to be times, I feel, this is just where I'm coming from. This is me and my lip stain, okay? There are times when I feel, of course, if you downtrodden and if you down and out, you depressed, you assaulted by life, you assaulted by people, then yes, I could definitely be an anchor for you, a buoy in the ocean, right?
You get to be human.
But, and also, who in this situationship, in this friendship, in this romantic relationship, who is there for me? Yeah. And if I have to continuously stand up and be there for me, then I might as well work more on the relationship that I have with myself, because this may not be a proper setting for you and I to meet.
Right, exactly. And I think that that's the thing. Like, the question is like, how deep do I allow you into my inner sanctum? Right. And in order to get here, you think about kind of like the old kind of like Buddhist temples and also the old Muslim temples, there are levels of cleanliness, right? And levels
you're right.
And levels of offering and supplication that you have to do in order to get to the center of the temple, right? So like the things that you're doing, and I'm not saying you must sacrifice, but I am saying, as you're saying, and we're talking about this critical love ethic earlier, there are things we must produce together. In ethics,
Right.
in agreement, in accord. And the deeper we get to the togetherness, the deeper you can get to me. Right? And the closer and the more that I can give you willingly, right? And so I think that's part of it, is like the consensual nature of it. And there's also the notion of like when you have to re-examine your relationships to see like, are you truly doing this consensually, or do you feel guilty? Like you're doing this because you love this person, or because you don't love yourself?
Are you doing it because you've been doing it so long and you
Mhm.
wouldn't know what to do after you stop doing it?
Yeah, you don't know what to do with yourself.
Do
And I
not get me to preaching. It is not a Sunday. I
look,
didn't come here for a sermon.
every day is a Sunday. I'm not even a Christian, but you know, I mean my ancestors. But
Come on
I,
now.
I think part of this is that though, like sometimes when we break this kind of habit of allowing ourselves, I wrote a poem about men that I was dating and men that become my friends. And I was like, I don't know how many men I've raised from the dead with the strength of my love. You know, I wonder how many. But that love was a type of like vampiric type of situation. They were literally stealing my life force. And they weren't stealing it, I was giving it to them willingly. But when you stop doing that, you realize you have so much time on your hands. You have so much energy. Now, what are you doing if you're not practicing necromancy? Like, how much time do you have when you're not rising again from the dead?
Necromancy. Wow.
Like, how much time do you have with your life? And it's like, what do I do now? I'm bored, you know? But it reminds you of the space and time that you actually have to tend to yourself.
I love you so much.
I love you,
I
baby.
really
It's about
do.
time we had a conversation, goddamn.
It's about time we had a conversation. The reason why, and I think I told you this earlier, the reason why I've been wanting to do this for so long is because, you know, even before I became an activist, my life has just been so wild. I'm so appreciative hearing you say that you wrote a book and it's full of your poetry and it's full of, you know, your life testament and story as to the things that happened to you. This is your narrative and you designed it this way and you describe it as such, right? And people have been telling me for a long time, you need to write a book. And I started, and then I didn't like it. And then Damon Young came out with his shit, and it was the fucking same format that I wanted to do. And so I was like, fuck everybody. But with the podcast, I think about all the people that I know. I know so many of you and have loved on y'all, and y'all have loved on me in these super serious ways, right? And why can't I reach to your demographic and say, okay, this is where I'm at, and this is where we're about to go into re-examining relationships, right? This is where I'm at, and then this is where T is at, right? And then you reach my demographic, which may not have even known about like who you are and what you do, not so much because I need to follow you, but like it took some Black femme women to tell me in 2012, get your shit together, Delgado. Like, you know what I'm saying? You never know, like something that you say may change someone. Things that you have spoken to me about, and I don't care you telling the rest of the internet. I feel like you have spoken to me about it personally. So it has really changed my meniscus, my view on what I feel is the way in which I show up. I had not considered this, right? I hadn't considered that I'm flawed in this way, or I hadn't considered that this is how I show up. So I wanted to talk to you about re-examining relationships because we just came off the precipice of that, right? We were talking earlier about Black genderqueer transitions, right? And you and I discussed being non-binary for a time and what does that mean? So can you explain to the folks at home listening, quarantined in, why did you choose, you know, gender is not a binary, I feel, but why did you choose the term non-binary in order to describe yourself, and what made you stop using that?
Well,
bitch, I'm Oprah. Let's go.
Yes, Oprah, I'm with it. I feel like very like Janet Jackson the moment Oprah's interview, she just laughed. No answer. No, but seriously, I think that like identifying as non-binary for me in that moment, I think it was 2012. It was a ability for me to kind of free myself, as I felt were like the mental strictures kind of Black manhood, and not like I was ashamed of Black men or afraid of, you know, someone seeing me as a Black man. It was a long history of experiencing Black men in ways that were beautiful in many ways. And my Uncle Brian taught me how to read. He's like my father.
Hi, Uncle Brian.
Right. My family has a lot of femme Black men that have like, do things in ways that would seem to be femme, like teach people how to read, teach how to cook, that type of shit. But also my earliest experience, my earliest memories were violent Black men. Right. Beating Black women or beating other Black men or Black children. And so when I was growing up, the biggest fear that I had was like, oh my God, I'm gonna grow up and be a Black man. Does that mean I'm gonna hurt you too, mama? Like, because violence to me accorded to manhood. And so that was a long journey that I was dealing with, even so far when I came out the closet, when I started fucking with dudes, I was afraid to have sex with Black men in the beginning. Not because something was wrong with them. I just knew that, first of all, if I fuck a white boy, he can't break my heart. I don't give a fuck about what he's talking about. Like, but if I had sex with a Black man and fell in love, and being a first generation high school graduate and then college graduate, that might fuck up I might fall apart. I probably can't sustain the heartbreak of being unchosen by a Black man. Oh shit, maybe I should leave that alone and have it all together. So when I kind of started identifying as non-binary, it was a chance to give myself a pause on life and figure out, what the hell am I and what am I doing? And then I kind of stopped identifying that. And when I realized that like Blackness has always been above, beyond, and outside of gender. And I started understanding that like for me, gender, even though I respect other people's gender identities, gender is not an organizing ideology or practice. I think for me, my gender is Black. I'm a whole nigga. That's why I invented the phrase Black queer.
You a whole nigga.
I'm a whole nigga. And nigga is a gender neutral, beyond gender.
The nigga in me sees the nigga in you.
Gender uncarcerable term. Like gender can't put nigga in a box. We got niggas with all types of genitalia and none at all. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation. But I stopped identifying as non-binary because I also saw there was a trend, I think 2014, 2013, of niggas that were gay niggas with no real politics. There was a cascade. Everyone started being non-binary.
Right.
And no one was changing their politics. They were just saying, I'm not a Black man. And they were talking about all the toxic masculinity shit. And they were remaining toxically masculine. I don't even use that phrase, but in their own words. I was like, but you're the same nigga. You just don't identify as male no more. But you're doing the same shit. And you move the same way.
The Facebook Flower Kings.
Yeah, and so I was just like, I'm not you. I'm not you. Even though I have no allegiance to any gender. So when you were talking about pronouns earlier, I'm like, I don't give a fuck about no pronoun. Nigga, call me. I know you talking to me. Just make sure I see you talking to me. That's all that matters. But I understand that these are real things, people, and the way gender becomes a marker, as we were talking earlier, as a way to put people in their place or displace people and to mark them as targets and worthy of particular types of violence.
Right.
Or privileges.
So I'm marking down pronouns because I want to come back to that. Because we're going to talk about in the simplest of terms, why does misgendering incite violence, not just among trans folk and genderqueer folks, but actually among cishet men. I wanted to ask you a question, not really ask you a question, I just want to share something with me that when you touched upon this earlier, it triggered something in me. I think about the several women that I am dating, that I have dated, the several women that I have loved upon deeply, the several women that have annoyed my soul. Like, I mean, I think about my relationships, both sexual and platonic with women, and how I show up in my own toxic masculinity. So for a time too, when I read your bio, I was like non-binary. I was like, this is my person in the world. And you was like, nah, nigga, I ain't non-binary no more. I had to think about it because for a long time, I've been sharing one of my loves, Ashley Shackelford. I've been sharing her piece about why I'm non-binary, quote unquote, and do not use they, them pronouns. I didn't want to be looked at as a person that took up space. You know, somebody who was a trans man would say, Dee Dee, I feel like you could be an asset to this conversation. I'd be like, right. But I would like still play the cut. I don't believe that I'm trans. I don't even want to get into that. What I believe is that I've begun to be politicized into this education of myself that has allowed me to be freer with my gender expression. For a long time, I've been called a bitch. I've been called a nigga. I've been called a dude. I've been called, oh, why, in my relationships with cishet men, I was often ostracized, even being married to a cishet man, because I often took the control of everything. Well, if you would stop being the man in the relationship, it would allow me the space and time. I'm like, no, because I feel like the nigga from Facebook who played in the Facebook movie. If you would have created Facebook, you would have created Facebook. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I struggle with dating women primarily because I'm so accustomed to the way that men have treated me that I feel like I replicate that.
Yeah.
And I'm primarily attracted to Black women, actually exclusively, except for the white girl one time that now lives in Santa Barbara. Hey, Julie, how you doing? But what I'm saying, she wasn't a wigger. She was actually a classical soprano. Like,
yes.
Don't even ask me why. Like, that was a
white boy like that back in the day.
There was
Hello,
a weird
doing,
threesome happening there.
Yes.
But I just wanted to tell you that, like, you sharing what you shared with me earlier, about that there's this Black gender queer transition, that being Black, I have to quote you over and over again. You said that being Black in itself is queer. And I want you to sort of expand upon that, because I feel like it just reshifted my focus.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about, and we talked about this earlier a little bit, early in the podcast, I think, too. I'm thinking about the ways that always giving honor to our Black women before us. Great Hortense Spillers talks about the racial hieroglyphics that were written on the flesh of Black people, right? And what she calls the fungibility of Black people and their ungendering. So Black people, after slavery, after what we call the great catastrophe of the Atlantic slave trade, Black men and Black women, as they're written down in the kind of ledgers, are indecipherable. There isn't Black man and Black woman. They're described by their height, their weight, their teeth, hand size, their feet size, if they have a penis, like really kind of like as product placement, right? And so their labor was not decided about whether this is a woman or whether a man. They go to a field, they go to the house. It was about how wide is their back, how strong are their hips. So the kind of gender that we understand now is, the kind of white European gender that is about a division of labor. You're a woman, so you belong in the house, kind of settler colonialism. You tend to be kind of household. You're a man, you do the physical labor outside of the home. You have the spheres of influence. But because of slavery, Black people never had these, in the American and the Americas context, they didn't have these kind of divisions of labor or spheres of influence. What we had was Black men did what they were called to do and whatever they needed to do, as did Black women. Black women have always worked. White women only recently worked. Black men have always performed sexual labor. White men still don't, right? So like there are these things about gender that don't map onto the Black body. Black people have always been multi-purpose beings. We can talk about this being a product of the afterlives of slavery, but we can also reach before slavery and colonialism and talk about beginning African religions like Ifa. We can talk about the Orisha. We can talk about these kind of demigods or spiritual beings or manifestations of Olajuawon.
I need you to repeat that, because I have a whole lot of Ifa priests on my timeline who don't believe in the gender queerness of our fucking deities. Like, are you kidding me?
Well, I mean, if we look at the Orisha of death, they present as twins, as both men and woman in neither. Right. So like this notion that gender is this discrete thing it actually doesn't even exist in our spiritual traditions, except for the people that have become syncretized after being a discrete male or female, like Shango, after living as a king. Right. So it's just, it doesn't really make sense. It's kind of new. It's kind of an afterlife of colonial Christianity and Western capitalism and imperialism. But I mean, that's fine if people want it. But it's just something that for Black people, try as we might, we're always seen as having these particular type of racial hieroglyphics or messages about our purpose and our duty that are mapped onto our body, and white folks see with a particular type of racial lens, a white gaze, that mark us as utilitarian. We can have a Black man do whatever. we want him to do. And a Black woman do whatever we feel like she needs to do, whether it's physical labor or sexual labor or household labor, right? You do what you must do, right? And as like my grandmother always says, you know, that like we don't always do what we want to do, we do what we have to do, right? We don't have the pleasure of discrete genders, you know, but we have the power to exist beyond them all.
Come on, grandmama.
Yeah, that's Grandma Willa Mae for you.
So when you said you don't give a fuck about pronouns, you personally, you're like, I know what you calling me. I know that you're addressing me. Yeah. If I respond to you, then I know that you was addressing me.
Yeah.
I fucked with that heavy for a very long time. I was ostracized inside of, you know, certain organizing meetings.
Yeah.
Because I would show up to spaces even before I was politicized and be like, I don't like the term her. Yeah. I hate it, actually. It's like nails on a chalkboard to me.
Yeah.
What's your pronouns? And they would be like, I would hear people say she's serious. I'm like, that has all, even my mother. I wish my mother was alive today to talk about the fact my mother did not like to be addressed as her or she. Use her name. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I would be like, okay, my mother's name is Carmen. Carmen's on her way to the car. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so like I've kind of adopted that, and you know, people will be like, what's your pronouns? And even if you look at my Facebook profile, pronouns is Didi, okay? Like, because that's a very clear way to like not even upset me, right? So,
don't even upset me.
Don't even upset me, okay? Like in the simplest of terms, because I feel like your language skill set is so beautiful. But this is a conversation I have been having, and many of us Black femmes have been having amongst our Hotep community. And when I say Hotep community, I mean my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, you know. In the simplest of terms, why does misgendering someone incite violence? And what I mean by that is, on one hand, if a cis het man calls a Black trans woman a he, she, I think of what's his name, Little Duval, who was talking about Janet Mock, right? And was like, oh, if I would have known that was a man, I would have killed her. Like, you know?
Yeah.
When we talk about cis het men talking about Black trans women or even Black trans men as like, oh, you just a wannabe dude, right? We're just misgendering trans folk. What is the difference between that violence that cis het men do to trans folk and the violence that cis het men do to each other because of misogyny when they accuse each other of being a bitch or a pussy? And then there's this sort of like fisticuff that comes from it. Why don't Black cis het men see the connect, or there is a disconnect between, if you've caused me this sort of uncomfortability, why they would impose that uncomfortability on someone else that doesn't share their intersection?
Yeah, and so obviously, like I was saying earlier when we first talked about this, I am not a Black trans person. So I can only speak from someone, an experience of a Black queer person that, you know, thinks and studies this and thinks with other Black people that are trans and otherwise. But what I see this as is an articulation and a tending to of power. Also, starting with the situation of the Black cis het men, or Black cis men writ large, het or not, right? About, you know, calling someone a pussy, a bitch, yada, yada, yada. It isn't to say that you're a woman, but it is to mark you in the positionality of a woman, which by proxy is a positionality of someone able or willing to be dominated or terrorized. And there's a logic, a public logic that makes this thing permissible, right? It's your targetability. It's your ability to become a victim. And it's my ability, it's marking my ability to not be that. But if I so choose to be the one to dominate you, right? So if a man is saying, oh yeah, you're XYZ, what we're really talking about here is comparative and competitive power, right? My ability to dominate.
Comparative versus competitive power.
Yeah, and it's also like stating implicitly the fact that you cannot dominate me, right? But when we begin to kind of talk about the cross-gender or cis and non-cis kind of articulation of this, what we're really talking about is a dislocation of being, right? So it's not enough to say that, you know, a man calling a trans person any amount of slurs about their gender and misgendering them is just about an insult or about taking power. It's really to seize their body. It's to tell you do not have the power to name yourself. And to not have the power to name or articulate yourself not only takes you out of the kind of citizenship, the ability to have rights, right, and to be whole and to be human, but it takes you away from humanity itself. It puts you in the position of a servant or a slave, if not an animal.
You talked about this a bit when we talked about your piece, Furtive Blackness. And when I say piece, you are working currently on your dissertation, and elements of this are talking about the furtiveness of Blackness. Can you expand upon that a bit?
Yeah, so I don't know if people understand the kind of definition of the term furtive, but furtive is when you kind of got the whole Black Lives Matter movement, the hands up, don't shoot. So if someone is reaching into their glove compartment and an officer shoots them, the legal logic for the officer shooting them is saying, I feared for my life, but it's because someone made a furtive gesture. The furtive gesture is defined as the movement without leave. This term kind of comes from the early English common law, but also the kind of imperial slavery period. And it's to kind of talk about a being that moves in a sly, suspicious way. It also moves sly and suspiciously, but has a character that is inherently sly and suspicious and up to some shit. And when you think about the beginning of like Black people being enslaved in the United States, we were often, when we would run away to freedom, we were called fugitives. So one of the first things that was passed during the Constitutional Convention and then after it was the Fugitive Slave Law and then the Fugitive Slave Act. Essentially, if you listen to old Black Negro spirituals, you'll hear songs that say, oh, I'm going to steal away to freedom. Because the law made it a crime to steal yourself away to freedom because you were not human. You were put in the subject matter of property. So it was seen that you were 2/3, 3/5 property, 2/5 human. That 2/5 human was stealing the property away as a fugitive being. And so when we begin to think about how the police are viewing Black people through these racial hieroglyphics lens, what we're really talking about is this Black person, their very being itself is furtive because the being is without permission. The presence is without permission. And the presence itself is a threat. It is sly, it's untrustworthy, and it's likely to cause a particular type of harm to the power mechanism that exists today between the kind of slave, white citizen, subject matter comparison. So we can look at a barbecue Becky situation where she feels threatened by the fact that niggas are having a barbecue. We can look at the Andrew Johnson situation where his brother must cut his locks because there's something about his locks that is threatening to the wrestling game. Even though and so he has to circumcise his essence in order to play a sport he's been doing for years, right? His very being itself is a problem. We're talking about the sister at Yale, the African sister, who was forced to give up her ID and almost arrested because she fell asleep in the common room because she didn't look right being there, right? There's something about the body that is always inside of law as far as being able to be disciplined, but outside of law as far as being able to be protected by its essence. So this idea of furtive Blackness is arguing that Black people are furtive, always seen as disciplinable, but always in and outside of law, but never in our own favor.
I cannot wait to read everything that you've ever written.
We out here trying to do something, a little something.
My heart is touched. I feel like at the end of the day, when we talk about furtive Blackness, I think about how what your work is translating to, and then I see like the contrast, right?
Yeah.
And when I say contrast, I'm talking about Van Jones, I'm talking about persons like Ben Carson. I'm talking about the Surgeon General who have now during this COVID-19 pandemic have literally put the onus on Black folks to have social responsibility while also naming the fact that there is systemic racism involved in literally every aspect of Black life, right? And what say you? Final thoughts and words. What say you? I can't believe I'm about to let you go. But what say you about the conversation of Black self-determination versus the requirement of Black social responsibility in the absence of Black social support?
So we were talking about this earlier and I almost threw up thinking about it. So this is a perversion. It's an intellectually dishonest, it's an anti-Black, it's an anti-poor, classist, elitist perversion of Black thoughts, of Black life, of Black love, and Black deed. The idea of Black social responsibility and self-responsibility and self-determination is very old. It was first articulated, people attribute it to Booker T. Washington. What he was saying is, niggas, white folks always gonna be racist.
Right.
No money, ho. Own some land, because they're not gonna let you ever be equal in the system. And the boys were saying, true, but also get your education and outsmart these hoes and make the system yours. But even before Du Bois and Booker T. Washington, there was a brother named David Walker.
Talk about it.
He wrote a book called David Walker's Appeal to the Colored Citizens of the World. And it was really a retort. It was written in the style of a constitution, rebuttal to the United States Constitution, and rebuttal specifically to Thomas Jefferson. And in it, he began to read Thomas Jefferson. So David Walker was born, this book was written in 1832. David Walker was born in 1804. He had to stuff the book into the suit pockets of folks in the South, and he would send the suits on down to the South with his book in there, so they could read about the fact that Black people, in fact, were the first people to have universities and colleges.
Right.
Contrary to what Jefferson would tell you, while white folks living in caves and what have you. So he was like going on and on and on about this shit. But the point is that Black people would not have survived slavery. Would not have survived the Middle Passage, stacked up 7 bodies deep on top of each other from the floor to the ceiling. Women on top of each other giving birth, having their menstrual periods. Men on top of each other can't breathe, ain't no air, there's rats running around, you have plague and bacteria and viruses. Without self-determination, and not only self-responsibility, but community responsibility, Black people never would have made it off the ship, even onto the ship. And you have to think that on the ship, we didn't have a common language. We didn't know how to speak to each other. We didn't have the same gods. We were probably at war with one another. Because low-key, some of us sold each other into slavery, let's be real. But so we are very different people. We are a diaspora of a diaspora. But even in this moment, even not even knowing how to say hello to one another, somehow we got off the ship into these chains and then out of them. So if that is not self and communal responsibility, self and communal love, I don't know what the fuck is. You can't tell someone they can't breathe for 400 years or cut their fingers off. And you have motherfuckers that are PhDs, scholars, lawyers, and even without going to the university, writing better books, come on, Maya Angelou, than other people that have ever come before them, right? So this notion of self-responsibility that they're having, this perversion, is really a slick tongue-in-cheek way of saying, I'm anti-Black and baby, get your money up. That's really what it's about. To fault Black people for having diabetes and high blood pressure, when you're dumping chemical waste from the trash landfill into their neighborhood. And niggas are saying, I can't breathe, and you're wondering why. You're saying, breathe better? Baby, what are you talking about, Van? Right. What are you doing? You were only an environmentalist these last 5 years. Before that, you were a consultant, honey. So let's begin to talk about the issues. Because for some people, you're the reason their lungs don't function. So if we're going to talk about self-responsibility and self-culpability, perhaps we should talk about these Black leaders that are responsible for the Black lung in Black communities. But we don't want to have that conversation. We don't. Otherwise, Ben Carson would never been doing so well in his career. But that's a whole nother, that's another conversation. Colin Powell, you too, baby. You let us in the Desert Storm. I see you, little warmongerer. But, it's just...
I need one of those sound machines that go.
I just want to see. I want to see a Black leader nationally that's elected, besides Barbara Lee, that actually says and proves that not only do Black lives matter, but the violation of Black livelihood has consequences. And from Barack Obama to my good sis Kamala Harris, to our brother that, marched on Bloody Sunday that said, the police beat my head in and I said, thank you. Nigga, get the fuck out of here. I haven't seen this level of leadership since COINTELPRO wiped us out. And where are we now? We are on the precipice of a burning rage of Black desire and Black fire that I think renders this new Black millennial and some of us, just some Generation X people and these Generation Z folks as well, on the essence of becoming a Black phoenix. We've been burning in student debt and the stock market crash and this pandemic shit, and it's time. It's time, for us to burn the country clean, as Black people have always done, with our ethics, with our morals, and with our ability to keep on keeping on always.
My nigga, I had to quote you just now.
Okay.
You just spit. I'm running the podcast. I'm doing the background. And I said, quote, Black Lives Matter. And so does the violation of Black livelihood.
Mm-hmm.
Nigga, we don't deserve you. You understand what I'm saying to you?
God created me. I'm of us.
It doesn't make sense to me on the inside what just happened here on this live.
Listen, that's the altar. You see the altar, child. Listen.
I appreciate y'all.
We over here, we turn her. We in the altar room, you know. That's the number of the ancestors. We stand on shoulders and we walk with their feet and speak with their tongues. Many tongues.
Yo, I feel a theme coming on. I wanted to ask you one last question.
Okay.
So you know this part, you're episode 3. We brand new in this bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And three is a good number. My mother personally always told me that good things come in 3s. I don't know what your 3 story is.
Ain't that what the Christians say? The Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost.
Listen, I don't know nothing about the Trinity. Other than the fact that I work for an organization with Trinity in the name. Okay?
I'm done with you, girl.
Okay. But what I wanted to ask you is, there's something that, you know, all of the podcast language says I should ask. I should email you. But I feel like I should ask this question publicly because I might never get an email from you ever again. 1, what questions do you feel like I covered everything? And if not, what would you like the world to hear? And 2, who would you like to see next on this podcast?
Okay, so there's one question. I think that hopefully if we have a little time we can finish right now, because I think that we got a little bit distracted. We didn't finish it about trans folk and the violence of cis men. I just want to finish that thought and say that it isn't only about trans people being put in this spot of like object, or to being dislocated from their body and ability to have rights, but it's also about the fact that like if a trans man is understood to be fully and wholly man by a cis man, what that does is it forces a cis man to re-examine all of the ways in which manhood was beat into him as a child. It forces them to understand the way that they were disciplined and beat by their mother or their father and their cousins and their best friend and their girlfriend, and these desires they weren't able to have from the womb later to the tomb.
Right.
And it says that, wait a minute, these things weren't about love, they were about control. And so I have to either understand that you are a man and my family were emotional terrorists and abusive, or that you're not a man and everything that I said was true. Because if you're able to become a man in this particular type of way, then that means that like it was not necessary for me to be harmed as a child. People hurt me over and over and over again to be a man, and I didn't require none of these abuses or sacrifices.
That it was all in vain. It wasn't to make me a better character person. Mm-hmm. It was to fit me into a mold that didn't even exist. Yeah. A societal myth.
Yeah. So every lash that I took, every whip of the switch, every slap to the face, every demoralizing quote, every boys don't cry, every time I touched the doll and I got my face slapped and my ass beat her, got laughed at her, said there was sugar in my Tigger XYZ, it was all for nothing. And now I have to look at my mom and know she did that. Or my daddy know he did that. And those are my role models. And so I think that like when cis men engage in this particular type of violence toward trans folk, it isn't just violence, it's a transference of violence, right? It's the violence that's been handed down and now it's given to, because if you're able to do this, then that means that what happened to me was gratuitous.
Right.
And what does that mean about what I know about love? You know, so I think it's deeper than I hate trans people. I think it's if trans people are valid and real in men and women, then maybe I'm not a real man or woman, but also all the freedoms I've lost out on have been stolen from me from the people that I love.
Right.
Love. So that's the question I wanted to finish, but now we finished it. And the other two was, who would I like to see on here? And
that was it.
Okay. I think you have most of the people I like to see. You have the homie Hari, who is like my brother from another mother.
Listen, I have a whole staple. I went to Staples. This is my
Yes.
calendar. And Hari
Oh,
is
you know who you should have actually, now that I've thought
May
about it.
5th at 7:30 p.m.
Yeah, that's my twin. They're also in my book, Godless Circumcision. We do a series of letters together at the end of it, but on Amazon, so check that out. But Amber Butts.
Amber!
Yeah. I
I'm
think
gonna
Amber
text her
Butts
right now.
is
I'm gonna text her right
yeah,
now.
some of my best friends, but I think I'm a great
I
writer
didn't
or whatever.
know.
Yeah, but I
You
think
just throw the name out there like that's my best
yeah.
friend.
Yeah, I think Amber Butts is the greatest writer of our time. Period. I love my writing. I love Hari's writing. I think we're dope. But I think Amber Butts is the singular greatest versatile writer of our generation. So somebody give her a fucking book deal, because look, she been writing for Black Queer Flow for a while. Now she's writing for Race Baiter and Black Youth Project. Get this nigga some money. Like, she been doing the work. I'm tired of it. She's our Maya Angelou. Don't sleep, bitches. Don't sleep.
I
Write her a
just texted
check.
Amber
Direct
and I
deposit, actually.
said direct deposit. So
Yeah.
with that said, your PayPal, your Venmo, your Cash App has been the pinned comment this entire time.
Yes, please
when
do
I
that, y'all. Nigga broke.
yes.
All my
I think
keynotes have been canceled.
I think I dragged a white woman earlier because she was asking me to provide a list, and I said, "What do you think I've been doing all week? I've been providing lists of people who have been affected by this COVID disaster." You know, when you talk about your speaking engagements, I think about, I don't even know if I'm about to bring in the salary that I thought I was going to bring in next month because I don't know if my speaking engagement is going to be canceled or not. And no one's really connected to me. And I feel like that weird imposter syndrome by reaching out to them and being like, hey, just me, just circling back, guys. You know? So I wanted to remind people that this was a labor of love. But please, the pinned comment is there. It is also in the description of the video. It is also in the description of every single flyer. Please drop some coins. This is quarantine and we need to support one another. Asada did teach me. She said we must love and support one another. That we have nothing to lose by doing so but our change.
And I appreciate you, Didi, because this could have been a very different series. It could have been a series geared toward white people about diversity and inclusion.
I don't give a fuck about that diversity and inclusion.
But I'm saying that, like, this could have been that, and it could have reined in thousands of dollars just on the contract. This could have been a $20,000 series, or just this talk with me and you, to any white organization learning about, let me learn about Black or queer or trans or femme issues, right? And they love that dumb shit. They don't listen. But the fact that this is geared toward us, and it's open access, and it's recorded, and it can be played to somebody's grandmama, you know, somebody's grandchildren over and over again through space and time is really important. And people don't often think about, okay, you've given your speech, you've got your money, you got your reward, but what about community? How is it accessible? And I try to, with all of my talks, I try to make sure that at least 40% of the seats are for Black and Black queer people and undocumented folks. Like, people don't build that into their contracts. And so you go to speak at Harvard and you just speak to white kids. So what that do? Right. So it's beautiful that you've made this a space where people can come in for free. And this is much better than the Harvard classes they got online. So we see you, Dee. Thank you, boo.
Don't make me cry. I've been drinking.
Me too, girl. This has all been bourbon all night, child.
Bitch, you was hiding that cup. I was like, I am the only one who has been wetting my whistle.
I was born in Bourbon County, Kansas. So, you know.
T, thank you so much for appearing on this show. And regardless of what ends up happening with this podcast, whether it gets accepted by Apple or not, I just want to say that what you just said to me was really meaningful, because I do try to put on for my community. Period. And I think there have been at times during my journey where I have leaned on the auspices of white people to maybe see if they had like some sort of moral compass that was connected to their brain, but it really isn't. It really isn't. And everyone, I have 35 people confirmed to speak on the show. I have content for the next month and a half because I'll be doing every day. I was telling you earlier, most podcasts, learning kind of content tells you to just post once a week. But because we in quarantine, because we need like each other in this fucking intentional ass way, I was like, I'm going to do this, regardless if anybody approves me doing it or not. And so the fact that y'all niggas have really said yes, when most white people, I asked, I made a post. I was like, well, white people want to come talk to me. Said no. It lets me know that I'm on the right path and I can only utilize white people for the sole intent and purposes of redistributing funds that didn't belong to them in the first place and back to my community. So this spotlight, this is for us. You know, a friend of mine did ask me, she was like, am I allowed to watch it? She's white. She's like, am I allowed to watch it? I said, yes. And you're allowed to be quiet, you know? Just give where you can.
I think one, I told you earlier, Didi, this is not self-care. And so you said regardless who approve, I don't approve, but you're doing this every day. That's some bullshit. But I honor the fact that you do this work because Fannie Lou Hamer didn't take a day off either, right? And I think that the work that you're doing is very much, has always been in the vein of that. And people don't know this, but this is the first time we've actually spoken vocally. We've talked over Messenger. There have been some things where people said shit about through online. I was like, girl, you okay? How you living? But like, there was also a time where I was going through a very violent breakup where I moved from DC and moved across the country, and my mom also had a suicide attempt and had no money to get there. And I messaged Didi like, girl, listen, I done missed my car payment. I don't got no money. I have to get home. My mama had a suicide attempt. I need to be able to like start a PhD program in a couple months. I didn't take this law firm job. I don't know how to do this. Can you put a call out? Like, and so I got home because Didi had raised all this money and people were sending me shit on PayPal. And then I got home, and then my sister, who has 3 kids, her car had broken down. She was nearly homeless. My mom was on Section 8. She couldn't take her in. And who did I message? Didi, yo, I hate to hit you up again, but like, can you, Didi and Amber Butts, raise like $1,000 for my sister? She was able to get a car, get back on her feet, get her apartment. My sister, you know, single mother of like 4 kids at this point. And if she didn't have that $1,000 boost, and $1,000 is a long way in rural Kansas, you know, and she don't even know that it was Didi. She knows it was Black women, you know, because y'all were like, yeah, she doesn't need to know. You need to tell her who it was. Like, just let her know Black women got her, right? And it was very anonymous how you did it. And I don't know what would have happened with my nieces and nephews' lives if there weren't Amber Butts and a Didi Delgado. That Didi, I never met this Tabias nigga. I believe what he said. I know his work and that's his family. So let me like rally some shit. And I don't know what it takes. Well, I used to do fundraising with white people, so I do know in a way. But I know that it's expensive to raise money from white people because it takes something from your soul. And the fact that you're willing to do that on the strength of someone's online essence speaks to an enduring internal unbridled politics, right? That isn't learned at a university. It isn't learned from reading a book. That's some ancestral soul juju shit. And you know, I encourage you to, one, never change it, but always protect it. You know, just because your cup runneth over doesn't mean it can't run empty. So protect that shit. Take your self-care, Didi. I ain't playing, girl, because I saw you earlier. Your hair went done. You know, put this makeup on and shit. You know, you should have went to take a nap. I know you didn't either. You didn't, did you? I know your ass didn't.
So what you need to do,
girl, that's too bad. I love your ass. So what you need to do when you get off this damn phone is to have another drink, smoke a blunt. Oh, I don't know if I can say that on here, but
you can totally say it on here. We welcome green environmentalism, Van Jones. Come on now.
Take your ass to sleep, girl. Go to bed. Turn your phone off. Computer off. Delete Facebook off your phone. It'll be all right.
Tabias, thank you. I can't thank you enough. Thank you very much. I didn't
thank you,
know.
baby. It's community. We out here. And you know,
We
if you
out
need
here.
me, as you know, Marvin Gaye and them say back in the day, call me. Come on, Diana Ross.
I'm gonna be like, Barbara, this is Shirley. Y'all, this has been an amazing, I can't even breathe right now. This has been an amazing episode of The Full Set. And Tabias, thank you so much for being my special guest today.
Thank you for having me, Shug.
Y'all have a good night now.
Hey, loves.